Hello and welcome to the Fish House Nation podcast. As lakes begin to stiffen up throughout the ice belt, anticipation is running high among ice anglers, and nowhere is this more evident than the Ice Fishing Minnesota Facebook group. And with over 70,000 members, Ice Fishing Minnesota, or IFM as it's often called, is an extremely active page where all things ice fishing are discussed all day long. And joining us now is the founder of IFM, Andy Patterson. Andy, welcome to the Fish House Nation.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Andy, IFM was launched in the fall of 2014. Can you tell us a little bit about how it got started?
I wish I could say I was like this social media wizard, and say it was kind of planned, but it actually kind of more or less fell in my lap. It was something I started for. I have a bunch of friends up north and down in the cities and all over the state, and I just wanted to have a place where my friends, we could get together and kind of share information, of the typical questions that are asked, a lot on the pages, like ice thickness, good bites, stuff like that. And so just one night I typed in Ice Fishing Minnesota because groups were kind of new at that time, and invited my friends, and we were kind of in there chatting, and then all of a sudden it just ding 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 with invites for it. And I think like the first 24 hours, I think we had probably around 5,000 to 6,000 members already.
Wow.
So it really blew up, and kind of made me nervous, to be honest with you, because it was just like, well, what direction am I, like, what am I going to do with this? And so that's where I took the next couple days and kind of thought what direction I wanted to go with this, and that's where we're at now. 70, I think we're coming up on 72,000 members. So yeah, it's been a crazy ride.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that growth. I mean, you guys aren't the only ice fishing page out there. You're not the only Facebook group out there. There's a lot of people who start Facebook groups and things kind of happen initially and then they just kind of die off. How have you been able to keep this thing going and keep it not only active, but keep it growing?
I think that a big part of it was just timing, to be honest with you. I think, we're lucky enough to get in when, like I said, when the groups first started. And, we've had a lot of support from companies, doing giveaways and just participating in there. We have a lot of big name pros that are active on the page that, come in there and provide tips and updates, and a lot of resorts that come in there and they share, like the ice conditions and stuff like that. And it's all the information that, people want, people need. And it is a very active page. So the content is always updating. I mean, you can go look at it now and then look at it 5 minutes later, and you have to scroll down 40 posts just to see what you've seen 5 minutes ago. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that has kept it going and kind of on top and being one of the bigger ones.
And what else do you think separates Ice Fishing Minnesota from some of those other pages that are out there? Like I said, there's lots of them out there. What do you think separates IFM from them?
I think all the pages definitely have, good intentions. And I think all the groups kind of bring something a little different to the table. I try to have the page be as unbiased, when it comes to products and stuff like that, as much as possible. Back in the forum days, there was quite a few groups and stuff too. And one thing I had noticed is that like this forum would lean more towards these products, and like this forum would lean more towards different products, and that was something I kind of wanted to steer clear of. I wanted everybody to feel welcome. Um, whether you're just a weekend fisherman who or somebody who's just starting out to somebody who's a pro and does tournaments and stuff like that. I wanted everybody to feel welcome, and yeah, I think for the most part it turns out it's turned out real great. I mean, we do get the crowd every once in a while that can't really follow the rules and just act civil, and a lot of them have spawned off onto their own pages and stuff, and I wish them well. Whatever. If IFM ain't for you, it's not for you. But yeah, I mean, like moderating it, I have a really good team. Very lucky to have them, and it's a full-time gig. Moderating the pages, and like I tell people a lot that we have. And I guess it's not really a proud number for me, but we have more people on our band list than a lot of the pages, other group pages, and it's unfortunate, but it happens, and especially with Facebook these days, everybody's, especially with the COVID stuff, everybody's kind of on edge and boisterous and stuff. So
Yeah, it's kind of a difficult deal. I think when you have a group as large as yours and as active as yours, I think having people of a large band list is probably pretty normal, just because you have so many people on there and doing
mhm.
things and saying things, and you've got this great moderating staff that's helping you out. But you talked about a little bit, when you started this, and I remember, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, the online forum thing was the deal.
Mhm.
And now that's really gone away, and it's more places like this with Facebook groups. Why do you think that the forum thing has kind of gone away and the Facebook groups have really started to thrive?
Well, I think that just Facebook and social media outlets are kind of a one-stop shop for everything. I mean, you can go on there and get your news, um, communicate with your family, do the group stuff like this, buy and sell stuff. Um, and I think a lot of what did I do before Facebook, come out? What did I do on the internet? And I really wasn't too big on the whole forum things. Um, it just didn't feel right to me. Um, so I guess I really didn't pay too much attention to them, but I did check in with them. But yeah, I don't know. I just think social media has such an influence on people these days. It's positive and negative, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, I really don't see it going anywhere anytime soon.
Let's talk a little bit about those positive things. What aspect of ice fishing Minnesota and what's happened there? What are you most proud of?
Um, we have a very good group of people, and everybody's like, I mean, it's crazy when somebody like in need comes out, how willing so many people are to help each other. Especially new in the hobby. Um, when we first started out, there was a member that come on there, and he had just moved here from California, and he was a big fisherman out there, never ice fished before, and he happened to be a veteran, and the people of Page just kind of took him under the wing and or under their wing, and got him a flasher, got him rods, got him tackle, and set him set him up. And this was something, I mean, I didn't have anything to do with to start it. It was just something people did out of their good heart. And so it's stuff like that. I mean, we've been on the news for having members recover fish houses, cars, missing people even. animals. So I mean, it kind of ranges outside of fishing as well. I mean, we've done stuff for charity, benefits, and stuff like that, and that's the stuff I'm most proud of,
Yeah, I
for
remember
sure.
last year someone lost their dog on a Mille Lacs and kind of
Hmm.
put an alert on IFM, and I think it was about 3 or 4 hours later, the dog had surfaced at someone's back door on the lake there, and they saw
Yeah,
it on IFM, and the dog was reunited. So that was pretty cool to see.
yeah,
Just watch that whole story unfold on the group. It was
yeah,
cool. So
yeah.
uh,
It
things like
really,
that.
yeah, that's stuff like that is really awesome to see. And like I said, a majority of people, have really big hearts and are really willing to help people, um, and just and a lot as well as safety. We had that incident up on Red Lake a couple of years ago, and where the couple had went through the ice, and it a lot of information was exchanged on red, just from people being out there, and then people would go out and look, and stuff like that. So the willingness to for them to help, in times like that too, is important, and very, very good.
It doesn't always turn out that way, though. Sometimes I call
No.
these Facebook groups the devil's playground because that's what it really feels like. What is your least favorite part of working with Ice Fishing Minnesota?
um I there's a lot of people that get too comfortable behind their computers, and voice a lot of opinions that they probably wouldn't share if it was in person and face to face with people. um and sometimes they can get pretty disrespectful, and stuff like that, and that's where the staff has to step in, and I don't like banning anybody. um so that's probably my least favorite part. um and it's kind of sad in this day and age too, that racism is still around. uh so I that stuff just makes me sick, seeing that come up on the page, and we have like zero tolerance for that. So that's definitely probably my least favorite.
Well, after the success of IFM, you launched a few other pages too. Tell us
Mhm.
about the other pages that you guys are working with. What other Facebook groups are kind of affiliated with IFM?
Well, we had the winter covered, with IFM, and people just pretty much requested a summer page, and so then we started Fishing Minnesota, and a few months later, and that took off too. Then we also spawned over into Hunting Minnesota a couple years ago as well, and yeah, it's it's been a ride, causing a lot more work for myself than I have to, I think.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on there, Andy, and
Oh yeah,
appreciate you
like
taking the
I said,
time
oh,
to
I'm sorry.
talk to us today and come out and kind of share this because I think that, I mean, you guys have a huge group of 70,000 people, but there's still a lot of people that don't know about the page. And I think even if you're not from Minnesota, even if you're an ice angler in New York or where Michigan or wherever, I think that there's a lot of good information that's shared there that could help as well. And I think what you really often see is people helping other people and kind of giving them information, whether it's somebody trying to figure out how to fix something or how to set up their four-wheeler or whatever it is that they're doing. So I think that's information that can get shared. It really doesn't matter what state you're from. So I think
Sure.
it's kind of a good thing to get out to a lot of different people and let them kind of find out about it and see more about it. Is there anything I
Mhm.
can ask you that you really wanted to talk about today?
Um, not really, not that I can think of. Not off the top of my head. Just
All right.
tell
What are
people to
your
keep praying for ice.
Yeah, no kidding. Things are starting to turn that way. My neighbor actually pulled in while I was outside this morning with his boat, and he tried to go fishing with his boat today, and he couldn't get on the water. So that's a good thing for me. So,
Yeah, me too.
what
Me too.
are your plans for ice fishing this season, and what are you looking forward to most?
Um, we have the team that's revolved around the page. So just to fish with them as much as possible. Um, we like to get content, for our webpage and stuff like that, just to, provide some more information for people. Um, my goal is to fish with a lot more of the members. Um, it gets way too easy and overlooked, people sending, messages and stuff saying, we should hit the ice together. It's like, yeah, let's do that. And kind of gets put on the back burner, but I really want to make that a goal this year to, go out and meet more members and just hang out and, make new friends on the ice.
Very cool. If you want to join Andy's community, just go on Facebook and search Ice Fishing Minnesota and ask to join the group. And if you like ice fishing and you live in Minnesota, you're definitely not going to be disappointed. Lots of great stuff on there and information, like Andy said, just getting exchanged all day long, all night long. Lots of stuff happening there. Andy Pedersen, thanks so much for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.